All right, we are in the Korean Classic tournament. It's Wednesday's qualifying round. I didn't get to play at all yesterday. I had a really busy day yesterday and didn't get to play. So yesterday would have been practice and try and get into my main account, my main Ricky account. But today is going to be practice and get in, and practice and get in. we'll have to we'll have to continue this on into the opening round. So here we go. Hole number one. Hole number one. I'm going off the island, 3 power ball, going straight at it with 6 topspin. I tried 5 and it put me right there, but 6 I think will get me a little closer. I don't want to ever roll off the back, so always the wind blowing. Let's bring out a Titan. We can do this miraculous deal with a Titan, the king of balls. And I'm going to bring a... How much topspin with my... It has 64, so that should be just right. Just right. Let's try and get up there and get an eagle. The goal is eagle. You can get aggressive on this hole. I think there's several ways that you could get aggressive on it and try and go for a hole-in-one, but a lot of times on these par fours, if you get super aggressive to go for the hole-in-one, that's where you end up walking away going, what just happened? How did I get a par? The goal on this hole is eagle. This is one of the holes we have to keep up on. This is minimum score here is eagle. So I'm doing 10% on the drive. 1.1 times whatever the wind is, divided by 1.5. Got my equation worked out. Yes, you can do this with a lower power ball, but you have to do overpower. If you have to do stuff on there, it's not that you can't do it with an overpower or a lower power ball, but in one-on-one, that's probably what we would bring out. But when we're in a tournament, this is why we save our good shit for the tournament. I want to be dead center in the middle of that island. I'm going to put all of the topspin on. 3-2, 2.34 rings. Remember how to play. 2, 3, 4. Hitting it perfect. See if I have enough with the APOC or if I need to bring out my extra mile so I can get more topspin. That's just what I'm looking for. El Perfecto. I could eke that a little bit closer. What I don't want to do is get up there and try and get my angle right. I could move over. I could start that shot off. If you have a Kingmaker, you can start that shot off a little teeny bit more to the left and put that extra side spin on there to get you right at the cut. But I don't want to end up on the fringe and have to take a long putt. I'm pretty sure you could probably make it on this course, but that's in the hole. Is that in the hole? No. I'm going to hedge my bet on that. Let's see if it hits the flagpole. See if wind was a factor. Came in on that side, so at that distance, wind's not a factor. You could probably aim straight at the flagpole, and if you hit a great to the left or the right there, if I'd hit a great to the right, I'd have missed. But if I hit a great to the left or a perfect, if the wind would have been a factor, I could have hit a great to the right and a perfect, and it would have went in. But when you're that close, so the max topspin with an APOC works. Let me make a note here. That did not look right. Let's go. Let me go look at that club one more time. It does say 64 topspin. I didn't think it had 64. It looked like it had 60. 64 will work. So with an APOC, let's make a note here. With an APOC, max topspin. With an APOC 6. All right, hole number 2. Hole number 2. What do we have in store for us? All right. I'm playing this 1-to-1. I'm adding on, but I'm playing it at max club. I'm not so sure that I'm at max club, but I'm playing max club. I was adding on 10%, even though you're way the hell downhill. I was adding on 10%. We'll see if this works, because I think the other day I actually pulled wrong. I had my ring set. Here's 1 ring, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. And I had to do like a 2-8 pull. So normally there's 1 ring, there's 2. I'd start on this edge and then I'd pull, but I didn't want to get all the way to the center. It's hard sometimes if you're doing like a 2-8 or a 2-9 pull and you're working on the center. So I was trying to work on one of the outer rings and then go 1 ring, 2 ring, and then have it where I could really see it. And I got lost in translation, and I think I overpulled it. So we'll see if what the wind is here, because they may have modified this hole where we have to do a bigger adjustment. We will see. We will see. I'm just going to bring out a navigator. Start making a couple with a navigator, and I get that number worked out. I've got a Hornet here. And a Hornet is, what is my Hornet at max club? 1.0 minus 0.1. All right, here we go. Here we go. Just going to do well, if it's 1.0, so it's 1.1 times whatever the wind is, divided by 1, plus 0.1. They've got a Thorn with a, what is that ball? A 3 power ball, so they can get way up there. Does that look like... Man, that might... You better stop, ball. Gets on the backside and starts picking up any kind of movement and starts rolling off the back. It can turn into really bad really quick. 4.5. 5 rings. I'm not going to put any spin on it. I'm going to see if it'll make it down to the cup. There's 5 rings. Oh, fuck, and then I hit it great. See, I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll. Stop, ball. I think that spot there, if you hit it great to the left, or excuse me, great to the right and perfect, there's almost a little funnel right there. I've hit a lot of hole-in-ones here on greats to the right, because that area that you're in where it's going down the hill, if you got your speed right and it hits it, it'll funnel right into the cup on a perfect or a great to the right. But a great to the left always misses. And of course I hit a great to the left. Of course. Why we could test that theory out. There's a couple of these holes in this game. There's one in particular that I can think of, and I can't remember what course it's on, that I've only made hole-in-ones on greats to the right. And when I make adjustments to make sure that I'm in the spot where I would be if I was great to the right, then I miss if I hit perfect. All right, which way's the wind blowing on this hole? That wind works for us. Now, I don't have any of the what I'm trying to do is get from this area and either do a rough bump and bleed out and end up in the front, or if you got a topspin boost ball and the wind's blowing right, you can clear this and you can get all the way down to the end, or down in this range. It's almost, you don't really want to get all the way to the end, because then you take the rough bump out of play and then you're just going straight out. But there is a killer rough bump here. If you're going to be here, you're in short iron and you need to bring out a short iron that's got enough topspin, a Hornet might work. But from back here, you're going to have to bring a Goliath in order to get... I'm not sure that a Grizzly has enough. I think you might have to bring out a Goliath. Let's think about what I got here in my bag. Let's look at my ball inventory first. I think to get over there I'll need... Let's rank up my power here. I probably have to bring out a Zerk. I could bring out one of these. I have a few of them. I have enough to get me through the week if I played that ball. But I think with today's wind, that might work. That might be able to do it with a tailwind, with just a regular, with just a mortal ball. And an extra mile. Maybe. Let's see if I could get through with just a regular Titan with this type of wind and an extra mile and a Goliath and a Hornet. How much topspin's my Hornet got? It's got 80, so I'm not going to be able to get all the way down into that zone, but I'm going to be in my Goliath, and my Goliath is with a 3 power ball. Where is my Goliath? 1.9, 2.3. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. I know the other day I clipped the rough and came out, and I think I used just a regular power 3 ball. And then I came out and played it again, and I brought out a topspin boost ball because I was in my 77 account and I've got some in there. I've got some of the 5 power topspin boost balls and got way down there. Should easily be able to get out there. I'm going to be right in the center of that. So let me put on all of the left-hand side spin I can get on. Give myself more room in the landing pad, so if I hit a grate to the left or the right, it's still going to come out on the other side. I'm going to do 3. Isn't it perfect? And just barely made it out. Just barely. Now for my shots the other day, this shot is absolutely flat. So I didn't add on anything. I just played the club where it was at. So if I'm at max club, it's 1.9. If I'm at mid, it's 2.3. I need to ask my buddy who just messaged me. He was talking about hole number 4. He got a hole-in-one on that par 5 the other day. I need to ask him if he did overpower on it. He sent me the video. I need to watch it. Where am I at in my club? I'm right at max. So 2.6 divided by 1.9, 1.36 rings. might be worth bringing out a Kingmaker just so you get the extra. You might have to bring out a Kingmaker so you can get that extra spin, because I won't be able to make it there with that. Don't have enough spin on it. I can at least get a look at the hole, but damn, that is so freaking close right there. 1.36 rings. I had to snap that off because I was running out of time. So I need a 3 side spin ball. Let's make a note here. 3 side spin. 3 or more side spin ball. That's a must. Which in this case would be a Kingmaker. I barely made it over there with a Titan, and I didn't put the wind back in. We'll say that. I did take the wind out and didn't put the wind back in, so I could have gave myself a little bit more distance by putting the wind back in. So if you got a pure side wind, you could probably still make it, but you start getting a headwind, you'll have to bring out either a 4 power ball or a 5 power ball. Eagle. All right, we are on hole number 4 now. Let me ask him. Did you use over OP? Overpower. Did you use overpower? All right, I'm not sure here. Hole number 4. The island hole. Which way's the wind blowing? We got good wind. Favorable. We could pick up a little. Oh, hole number 4. What did he? Hole number 4. 4 backspin, 1 left-hand side spin. No. Let me on 5. 1.1. This is the island hole, and I'm going to bring out. I'm looking at my notes here. I'm trying to think about how I was going to do this. So it's I'm going to bring out my sniper and a navigator. Sniper and a navigator. I'm going to add on 10%. I did this shot the other day and I didn't. I think I needed to go more than 10 if I wanted to go straight at it. My buddy here saying start off left of the cup. Which way? Which way? I got a nav picked. I got my bag picked. Let's plug some numbers into the calculator. Here we go. Lob goes first. Trying to wake up. Got coffee in front of me. I had stuff cooking all night. I cooked a bunch yesterday. I made 3 gallons of chili verde sauce yesterday, or not chili verde, but Roja for chili Colorado red sauce. So I had a bunch of peppers to do work on yesterday and all of the stuff for the sauce, and I cooked it all night, and now today I've got 15 pounds of pork that I got to cut up and be cooking pork all day. I'll portion it out and freeze it up and make meals. I like to be 3 rings off of that. Let's see if the 4 backspin works from there. Yes. Three 3.45 rings. There's 3, 4, 5. Exactly. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if that puts me anywhere close. That was with a 15% adjustment. I'm going to try a 20. I think I tried a 10. That was a 15. I'll try a 20 on it. And it's at minimum club, and I played it at max. So that's adding some on right there. Looking at my notes here, thinking, what? 4 backspin, 1 left, side spin. All right, hole number 5. This is the hole right here. This is the hole. This is the hole where we have to get an Albie. Albie is minimum score on this. So if you don't get an Albie, you're not keeping up with the Joneses. So what are my ball options here? I tried it the other day where I didn't do any overpower, and I tried just a topspin boost ball just to see, like, I think it was one of these, and tried just a normal shot without any overpower to see what my deal was, and I needed to use some overpower. And a 5 power ball, in my opinion, is too much. And a 3 power ball works, but a 4 power ball is actually, in my opinion, the best ball to bring on this hole. If I do overpower, I think I'm fine with the Amazonian. Let's try it. We'll try it with this, and I'm gonna use an APOC. Now what I'm gonna do here, let me look at the hole in person so we make sure I got my game plan worked out. Okay, hole number 5. I'm a big fan, and I played this the other day. I had 2 opponents, and both of them were going for this line right here, trying to do the straight up line to it. And they were trying to do, one of them was, they brought out a 3 power ball, and the other one brought out a 4 power ball and didn't do max overpower because they didn't want to blow past it. Well, like, draw a line here, like there's fairway right here. You can start off on the right hand side so you can get deeper into this zone, and you're going off in this direction, so we've got to cover this gap and curl. An extra mile will cover it. You got to make sure you're kind of more on the left hand side down here with an extra mile to make sure you do cover it, but you can pick up more raw distance on that side. So that's the side I'm going to be angling for, and then putting curl on it. I have no idea. No idea. It seems to me on the second shot that if you are just a little off the green and you're taking that shot, you need to take off 10% on the second shot when you're coming to the cup, or you will miss it. And it's difficult in 2 ways, because the course is so steep there that the ball wants to roll with the course. The course is forcing the ball, and it's rolling away from the hole. It's breaking away from the hole, and it's way downhill. Let's get as much side spin as we can on there. Let's get as deep into that cup as we can. 3-2. I'm going to do 3-6, so I'm going to do 2.5 rings. I'm going to go out to my pink line. Hitting it perfect. Bounce number 1. If you get just a little teeny bit more, it'll roll all the way to the cup. If you break that hill, it'll roll down, and once it hits the green, it'll continue to go. And my trajectory was a little low. Didn't need to put on quite that much curl. This will actually be a pretty difficult little chip on, because it will break. It didn't look like they put enough curl in there. I've been in that spot about 1,000 times. I played this hole a lot. This hole used to be in Tour 3, and I played this hole a lot. Well, it's still in Tour 3, so you can still play it a lot. There's max, there's mid. I'm at mid club. So 0.9 times 2.9 divided by 2.4, 1.1 rings. There's 1. Hitting it perfect. In the hole! In the hole, in the hole, in the hole. You gotta get an Albie on that hole just to keep up with the Joneses. I mean, that's minimum score right there. Albie. See if my opponent can get in. Hit that thing perfect. I'm curious to see if that goes in. I think it would have. I think it would have. It might have been right on that top edge. I would like to have seen it perfect there, buddy. Sorry about that. There you go. That's how to get an Albie on that one. I'd rather be on and right by the hole and making a putt as opposed to having to take the chip on. But what you don't want to do on that green is it's an old green. If you make the green and you roll off and you go towards the bottom, you can get an impossible putt. And you don't have to be that far away. You could be, 10 squares, 12 squares away, and you think, hey, I can easily make that, but you're going up the hill and you won't be able to make it. It's difficult to make putts. You either want to be really close to the cup on the green, or you want to have a chip, but those chips are tough because you've got that hole has its challenges, but we have to get an Albie on that hole. We just have to. Hole number 6. Made it past that one. Got the minimum score. Okay, we got another hole here. We can get. We can go for hole-in-one on this one. Hole number 6. And I think the other day I did bring an Albie on it. I meant to play it with my Thor's hammer. Which way is the wind blowing? That way. And if you bring out a big power ball, you don't have to do any overpower or anything. You can actually set yourself up. If you bring a 5 power ball, you can set yourself up in this zone and you can pull back a little bit from the red line. so that you're more like in this area. So you got a couple rings in front of you and you got some wind or rings behind you as far as getting into the rough. And that way, if we've got a headwind day, you'd be able to work the wind out and you won't have to do any overpower. But if you bring out a 3-power ball, you're going to be right tight in this area and you'll have to use overpower. And I've got a 30% on the drive because I did it the other day with a 5-power ball and I didn't do any extra. I just did a shot and I damn near clipped the rough or clipped the sand. And we had wind that was like blowing in this direction. So stay in this area. So if we have a headwind day, and let's say we had a 5 headwind and you have to work out, that's 1.5 if we add 30%. So now we're at 6. So that's about 3 rings with an extra mile, 4 rings with an APOC. So giving yourself a little bit of room so you don't have to do overpower, so we can try and standardize it and really kind of go for the hole. In order to do that, you need to bring out a bigger ball and not have the fluctuation of having to do overpower. So it's one of the things about my practice account is I don't have a lot of bigger power balls. Let me look at my I really would like to bring out a bigger power ball and use my Thor's hammer. It's got better ball guide going in there. It's got a little bit less distance. It's obviously got less distance than the APOC. But what do I have? I only have 2 Berserkers. I'd really like to save those balls for the weekend round. That's it. That's all I got. Unless I buy one of those new ball packs. So today I'm going to bring out just a regular ball and save my bigger stuff. And I'm going to bring out the biggest hitting club that I have. That'll help me. And look at the Thor's hammer versus the APOC. As far as like it does have 8 yards less raw distance. So you got to account for that. So bringing out a bigger ball will help account for that. The ball guide will help you on a hole like this, especially since we're trying to go for a hole-in-one. So what do I have on my notes here? It's like 1 1/4 backspin, 1 left hand, and that was with a Zerk. So with a 3-power ball. All right, here we go. We'll have to wing it today, because I don't have the ball inventory. I want to save my ball inventory for the weekend round. I could buy, I think there's one of the newer balls is a 5 topspin boost, or a 5-power ball. So I mean, I could buy like a $4.99 pack, and that get me enough to work the round. See how it goes. What's up, baby? Puppies. You sleep good? All night? Okay. You puppies go get busy. Yeah. That was my buddy responding on his shot that he did up there. He did I think it was a 4-power, like 4 or 5 topspin boost ball, and he didn't have to do any overpower at all. He was just able to shoot it up on hole number 5 and got the hole-in-one on it. Went right in the hole. Would really like to get over to the other side. 1 1/4 backspin. Two 6, 1.3 times 2.6. It's 2. I'm gonna do 2.5 rings. I'm gonna overpull it because since I'm doing overpower, I don't want to take any risks that I'll end up in the sand. Hitting it perfect. Whoa down, Cat Daddy. Whoa down. Probably could have used 2 backspin. I had several things going at the same time there, so I got a package from Amazon. I was like, what the hell did I order? Some shit that I ordered like 3 weeks ago and it finally came in. It was super cheap though. It was like $200 and some odd dollars everywhere else, and it was $25 on Amazon. So, but I had to wait 3 weeks to get it. Yeah, I like that. I like on this hole right here. I'm going to tell you right now that I definitely like hitting it with a ball that I don't have to do overpower on. Where you can just set it up in the zone up there. And the 30% was definitely good. If you go back and look and see where that bounce was, I think it was like you look at where I was pulling when I did the red line. And I probably did, if I did 2.5 there instead of, or 3.5, I probably did a 35. Let's see. Yeah, it was a 35% adjustment just to make sure with that tailwind. All right, we survived that hole. Hole number 7. This is the deal about nobody wants to, it's the elephant in the room. Nobody wants to talk about money in this game. That's the thing. Oh no, we don't talk about money. That's not part of the game. That's bullshit. Money is that if you have a practice account, this is a prime example of why it's so important. If you have a practice account and you buy a ball pack in your main account, you've got to buy that same ball pack in your practice account. Now, I will say this. Unless you're way playing at the top and you're doing the deal, if you buy, let's say you bought the $34 pack in your main account, you may be able to only have to buy like a $20 pack in your practice, or just having some of those balls. Because in your main account, you may be playing your main account more often and you get a hole in regular play. You're out playing on the course, or you do more practice in your regular account, so you've got more balls in it. But when you bring out your secondary account, you're really only playing the tournament hole, so you don't need quite as many balls in it. Hole number 7. Hole number 7. All right, there is a rough bump that we can do off of this as well. With a Goliath and a Katana, 6 topspin, 1 right-hand side spin, and I did a 10% the other day, and it wasn't quite enough. I'm gonna try a 15. It might be 10 plus 0.2, or, but I'm gonna try a 15 here. Number 7. Let's make sure I have a bag that has a Goliath, and let's bring a Katana. And I was at mid club doing 2.3 per ring. And let's do this real quick. Let's go. Let me make sure. It seems like I wrote down some different numbers for my long iron. Goliath. A Goliath. Wind chart. Got a level 9 Goliath. I'm using a power 2 ball. I'm at mid club, so it should be 2.2 straight up. 2.2. And if I was at max, it'd be 1.8 straight up. And if I was at minimum, it would be 2.7 plus 0.1. Let me make a note here on my cheat sheet. 1.8. 2.2, 2.7 plus 0.1. All right. If you're going to do hand numbers, you got to make sure you got, well, and the deal is that there are, on almost every club, I won't say every club, but almost every club, I do use the numbers straight out of Golf Clash Notebook as far as like my base. But there are a couple clubs that I hit different, and I've hit them that way for a long time, and I'm comfortable with those numbers. So like that's just how I hit them. That's how I hit them. Okay, let's make sure. I got the bag with a Goliath, and I got a katana. Here we go. Times the wind divided by 2.2. 6 top spin, 1 right hand side spin. Wherever that puts me. I put that spin on and then find the spot. I'll work the wind, put on the spin, find the spot. Hit perfect. Go in the hole. That's the order of operation here. And then after that, it's tip your hat, wave to the crowd. Jump up and down. Woo! In the hole. That's what we want to hear. That's the sound bite that we want to hear right here. Okay, 4. 6 top spin, 1 right hand. There's 4, 5, 6. 1. Okay, find the spot. Find the spot. I want to go right at it. Hey, it keeps jumping from one side to the other. 2.1 rings. And I'm off a little. I'm going to run out of time. Oh, fuck. I tried to snap that off because I was running out of time. I didn't have time for it to come back one more. I usually like it to go past it and hit it on and its way back to the left. Sometimes I can snap them off and catch perfects right there, but I like to look down and make sure I'm centered in my ball and my ring down at the bottom, and then glance up and then release. Okay, that's all right. This is my practice account. I'm going through the motions, so can't be too upset. I'm not sure what kind of scores are going to qualify, but I'll make this shot. All I got to do is hit perfect, and this shot's in the hole. How hard is that? Because there will be no wind effect here, so it is hit perfect, and I may be able to hedge my bet so that I can hit a perfect or a great to the one way or the other. We'll hedge my bet. A perfect or a great to the right will go in. And that was 3 rings great to the left. That will not go in. No dice. I need to get in a habit on those because I need to get in a habit on those of look down, find my spot, release, come up to the top, reset, then pull back down because then I know the angle. Pull back down and then release on the 3rd time by. And just snap it off. I need to start setting myself up a routine on that. Hole number 8. Hole number 8. What is hole number 8? I do like I really do like that par 3. That was just totally me like running out of time because I was dicking around there. This is another one of those holes that it's nice to bring out. If you bring out a bigger power ball, you can consistently be in that area. But I don't have any bigger power balls, so I'm going to hit from here, and I believe I'm going to use a Kingmaker, not because I need the forward distance on the drive. I'm pretty sure you can do this with a katana. And I'm going to bring out a katana. We'll select a katana, and I'm going to bring out an APOC. I'm pretty sure you can do this with an extra mile. Let's do it with the extra mile. The extra mile's got more topspin. Not that I don't know that I'll be able to access all the side spin with that topspin. So let's bring out an APOC. Maybe. Which way's the wind blowing? Which way is the wind blowing? I may have to switch that up to the other bag. Maybe. We'll have to see. I've taken this. This is how I normally play this hole, because you can play it with a low power ball and you can play it from this area, and it doesn't matter if it's headwind, tailwind, side wind, whatever, you can do the deal. And I do play it with an extra mile. So I am going to switch to bag number 1. Let me just do that right here. Right now. Let me just switch in there. That's one more thing I don't have to mess around with. And I wasn't getting an opponent anyways. I think it doesn't matter whether it's headwind days or tailwind days or sidewind days. You can pull the wind out. There is a tree there. I don't know that I've taken the shot so far this week. I've been working on the island, looking at what our options were. I wanted to see if there was a way to get on that was easier than in the past. And there is a way to get right in the mouth, but it's pretty damn risky. So I haven't been practicing my normal shot. The thing I like about this shot is, for everybody out there, if you can end up in the same area that most people are going to end up if they're hitting off the island. So they got a power 3, 2 side spin boost. With this one, they got to do a little bit of overpower. So I suppose you could hit off of the island with a 3 power ball today. Well, they got low wind because they got a low wind ball. Let's see which way my opponent's going. They're going in the rough or in the sand. Most people that try and get into the gap in the front, that's exactly where they end up. And they would have been better off on that to end up 3 side spin and however much top spin you can get on. You can see, look where my second bounce is out there. It's on the other side of that tree. I'm going to aim right towards the tree. 4, 5. I'm going to add on 10%, so that'd be 5. So that'd be 2.5 rings. Max curl. Hitting it perfect. And just bleeding myself out and doing a second bounce rough bump off of that area. So if you aim at the tree with an extra mile and you do max curl, it'll bring you out right there. Now, if you've got a lower developed extra mile and it doesn't quite have as much topspin, you might need to be, I was a little bit nonchalant at the tree. I was probably on the right hand side. If you center line of the tree, I was on the right hand side of the tree. If I had a lower topspin ball, I might. The way you could do that is bring out a big topper, but you can't do all of the curl. You'd have to find a spot. You're going to just do part of the curl. But if you're using an extra mile, you'd probably want to be a little bit more towards between the middle of the tree and the left-hand edge of the tree. That way when you're rolling out, you're closer to the edge on the rough. With my rapier, I'm going to be at mid club, so 2.2 divided by 2.4 is 1 ring. 1 stinking ring. I'll be right in this. That'll give me a little hedge. 1 stinking ring. One ring. Oh, fucking hit it great. Hit it perfect, that goes in. Hit it great, it misses by that much. And I was on that right-hand edge, so if I'd hit a perfect or a great to the right, I could have had a shot of going in. But No dice on the grate, and I'm not sure that the grate to the right would have went in. It was right there. Arr! Gotta hit that perfect. I like our odds on this hole as well. This is definitely a hole if you're on that week and you're hitting a lot of perfects. This is a hole. All three of these par fours are makeable. This will be the toughest of the three, just because you can't get all the way on consistently, I should say. That's two holes right there. I screwed that par three up, and that eagle is definitely gettable. Hole number 9. What do we got here? What kind of scores we got? So that put me at 14. I think a 14 will qualify. You can see 17 at the top. That's the type. 34. This is a community cup type thing, and so like really we're looking at. This is the scores we're going to be looking at this week. That's you got to pick up. You have to pick up an Albie on the 1 and the 2 par 3. So there, that puts you at 15. That's 30 automatically. And then you've got to pick up other holes. And there's a shit ton of holes on here that we can pick up shots on. Hole number 9. Hole number 9. Now, this is another hole that you can greatly increase your odds by bringing out a bigger power ball, so that you can. And I'm gonna shoot for this side. But if you bring out a big power ball, you can shoot over here and you don't have to do any overpowering. You can try and lay yourself up, and you can try and do a rough bump. Now, I will say this. You can lay it up out here and do the sniper rough bump. If you get into this area, you're going to be in long iron. Was I in long iron? I came out here on my 77 account, and I had my Kingfisher, and Kingfisher wasn't enough, but I think a Hornet's enough to get you over there. I'm going to bring that Goliath bag just in case. I'm going to bring my extra mile. I may have to switch it up to my APOC, so let's make sure I have an APOC bag. I'll switch this up to an APOC bag. I don't think I've used this one, APOC. Goliath. We'll see which one of those works. We'll see what I can do with a 3 power ball, and I may have to. I got one of those 444s. I could pop my last one of those out. I'll bring out, and I think you might need a 3 side spin ball in the second shot. I'm not sure on the second shot what kind of an adjustment we should do for the wind. All right. We'll see if a 3 power ball will do it, and if not, I'll have to bring out a 4 power ball to try and hit to the other side. There is a blind curl shot you can do down at the bottom. I did it the other day, and I was 3 rings. I was 3 rings off, and I should have been 5. You really have to practice that shot. And I can't remember if I put on. No, I wouldn't have to put on any overpower. You could just do the shot. Here you got to put on some overpower in order to get to the other side. Make sure here. I want to make sure I'm clearing that sand good. Just try and get up into that area. 2.8. That should be about 2 rings. I'm hesitant to pull it too much on that slope. Hitting it perfect. Whoa down, Cat Daddy. Whoa down. Whoa down. Whoa. I didn't pull enough wind out. I put that little bit of right hand curl on there just to try and keep it going right, but I only took out about half the wind. I was pulling on the fairway side, so the rings were where my reference point for the wind wasn't getting distorted by the downhill side, but I should be. That might be That might be Goliath from there. I'm going to play it wherever I'm at in my club. 1.8, 2.2, 2.7. And I'm going to play it with plus 10 times. What is the wind? 2.2 divided by... I'm in my Hornet. Excellent. I'm in max Hornet. Divided by 1. 2.42 rings. Let's see if my Hornet has enough topspin to get me there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to pull over this way a little bit and put on some 2.42 rings. It's 2.42 exactly. Hitting it perfect. Just a little bit outside. I did a 10% adjustment on that, and the way the wind's blowing to the left, so I either need to put a little bit of spin or a bigger number. We'll try a bigger number first. And I'll have to go back and watch that and see what kind of spin I put on there. I was trying to get to a spot where I could straighten the ball guide out and not where it's drifting off at the end. And it seemed like it's flatter, more to the right. You're not as much on a hill. There we have it. 14. And I dropped one, so that's 15. And I didn't make the eagle on the last par 4, so there's 16. So getting a low score is going to be like, if you pick up all 3 of the par 4s and the Albie on the one, there's 4. You start at 12, that puts you at 16. So I mean, like, the person that's at the top and you go 17, they only picked up 1 shot. Because we have to get, even though that 1 par 4 is difficult, we really need to get, and they got a hole in 1. They did get the Albie. It looks like that was the 1 shot that they picked up, was the hole in 1 on hole number 2, but they got what they needed to get. They got the eagle, they got the Albie, they got the eagle, so they picked up the 4 that they needed, and then this is the one that they're looking for. I mean, that's really the way that this week's going to go. I mean, a 17 that's 34, so 32 is going to be like almost your minimum score. So it's going to start from there. If you shoot better than a 32, you got a shot of winning. But I think it'll take a 32 just to get you into the hunt. Exciting week. But we have great opportunities on these par 3s. Like I screwed that one up just because I ran out of time and didn't get it done, and I had all the numbers. Which is what was really funny about it, is I have the numbers and I was all set up. All I had to do is set it up and take the shot, and ran myself out of time to the point where I had to release with the second left. What was the deal with that? All right, there you have it. That was my practice qualifying round. I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat and then come back out and play 77. And I do have a better ball inventory in 77, so some of these clubs I'll be able to take with a better ball. This type of course definitely highlights the fact that if you have a practice account, you've got to be able to have the same ball inventory in it so that you can practice the shots and you can really learn something for your next account. Because I learned something on a few of those holes right there, but on a lot of those holes I didn't learn anything. Because I'm not going to be in that spot in my 77 account because I have a different ball inventory. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Everybody have a great week. And hopefully everybody has a great tournament.